Salutations, my fellow food lovers. This is Chef Mark here from Johnny's Italian Steakhouse, and I want to tell you about our filet Oscar. This premium filet is topped with Johnny's lump crab cake, grilled asparagus, and our signature béarnaise sauce. But the start to any great night always begins with a killer appetizer, and I recommend trying out our jumbo pan-seared sea scallops with Brussels sprout slaw tossed in Johnny's hot bacon dressing. It is so good. I know that you will love my filet Oscar as much as I love preparing it, so come to Johnny's tonight. Johnny's Italian Steakhouse, Village Point Shopping Center, Omaha.
Hello.
Good evening. How you doing, Beau?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh, just dandy. It's a little bit hot here. I'm in the southeastern U.S., known as
Whereabouts? Whereabouts?
I'm in the Atlanta area. I'm about a half hour north of Atlanta.
Oh man, there's some great food down there in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, you can go on and on and on. Yeah, it's just amazing. Great barbecue here too.
Great barbecue, great music, and great ladies. I have to say, many a peach have I seen down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, we got sweet peaches here. Yeah. A1, yeah, definitely.
So, what's going on? Do I call you Bob? Are you Bob?
I'm Bob. That's the name of this little podcast here. I started this during the pandemic because people were out of work and they had nowhere to go. And I just, said, hey, they're lonely. Let's talk.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Some people do get lonely. Remember Paul McCartney said, all the lonely people, where do they all come from? I know where they go. They come to Bob.
All true. Yeah,
that's right.
He was totally right. So how's it going? Where are you at now?
I'm out in the outskirts of Los Angeles. I live in the mountains, and I get away from the city lights and the city noise. I got to clear my mind, so I can retreat from the world and create the music and art that I do.
Yeah, you got a lot of good stuff out there. It's really good. So how'd you get started on all this? You got a pretty interesting life. Is it true you were born to dope smugglers in a seedy motel?
I got to say, that's the truth. I mean, look, I had no control over the baby hole situation because I came out when I came out. I was birthed into this world just like anybody else. But it happened to be from some people that used to smuggle some high quality marijuana around. And nowadays you could just carry it with you. It wouldn't be a problem. They were having to smuggle it. And that's back when they called it dope, And then, it was in a seedy motel. They called to get the ambulance to come pick my mama up, but she just squatted and out I popped. Just like that.
No doctor around to slap you or anything like that?
Not at all. It was literally old school style. She put me out of her baby hole onto the shag carpet, and there I was. I was all ready for action. I don't know what was happening. I was just,
So nobody who got to cut the cord?
Oh, I still haven't cut the cord. Me and my mama traveled together. I'm kidding, of course.
I
got tied into a knot, and then I did a little bungee jump, and my daddy had this scythe. He used to do some cutting in the wheat fields with, and there I went, binging and boinging all over the place.
And what going on? Yeah, so you were all over the South. You traveled totally through the South.
Indeed. Look, if you're into music and good food and hot women, the South is a great place to be. And so I got around there. I was in Florida, I was in Georgia. The northern side of Florida is more southern than the southern side of Georgia. It's crazy. So the Panhandle and all that, and Alabama, Arkansas. I spent some time in Oklahoma, Texas. I've been around. I got to say, I've been to a lot of places that I will happily return to, and a couple that I'm going to just avoid and keep nameless.
I remember being in the Panhandle. I've done a lot of traveling through there. I've done a lot of TV production work.
You ever go to Club La Vela?
I've heard of that. That's
spring break legendary. Are you a spring break kind of guy, Bob, or you don't go for that kind of stuff?
Used to be. I remember back in last time was like in the early 2000s. Great clubs there off of 30A. I remember some guy shucking oysters over there. It was really nice.
Nice. Hey, I shucked a few oysters myself, but hey, it's a euphemism, Bob, just in case you're wondering.
So you discovered music in a New Orleans brothel?
So here's the deal. Some of my biggest heroes discovered music themselves, sitting at the elbow of boogie woogie players in some of these brothels, turpentine camps, and places like that. So when I started getting into playing boogie woogie piano, which was my first instrument, my first love, the places you would go that would actually have a piano you could play boogie woogie on were sometimes some saucier, seedier sides of the experience of the humanity here. So yeah, I wound up in some brothels, and there's one place I was playing on the piano there. And an orgy full of, I'm not kidding, like actual naked people having relations happening behind me. And I was playing and I started to improvise. Here's the thing, Bob. I wasn't necessarily playing just any old song. I was creating with the experience of what was going on. And it was a real lightning bolt for me. I really got excited by it. And then when the girl came up naked and said, hey, you want to join? I actually said, no, I'm fine right here at the piano. And I ain't taking the leftovers either. I prefer my dinner fresh. Thank you very much.
Saved you a few trips to the doctor. Avoid that.
Holy moly. Oh no, yeah. You nowadays you catch things far worse than the clap, and I don't need the clap. I don't need anything but applause. That's what I need. The clap, no. Applause, yes. And oftentimes that's what I get, so I'm all right.
Real applause, yeah. That's what
Indeed.
you need.
It's good to feel appreciated, Bob. I mean, I think that's the thing. I think every human being wants to feel loved and appreciated. It's just for me, that extends to the crowd love and women whipping their panties at me and stuff. It's a beautiful feeling. I feel like really loved.
That's cool. Like the Blues Brothers said, everybody needs somebody. That's I remember John Belushi doing that. Yeah.
Oh man, I almost just ate a rubber biscuit. That's funny.
I remember that. Well, so your dad would visit the brothel. He was there for a weekly tune-up.
That's what you could call it. My dad and my mommy split, and my daddy was on his own trip. So sometimes I'd be hanging with my daddy and traveling to place my mama don't go. My mama was never a brothel kind of girl. She got into relationships where my daddy was a little bit more of a swinger. So I got to see the swinging side. I also got to see the stable side. So I feel like I'm in the middle of the frosting in the cake. I don't know what's going on, but my daddy definitely took me to some places and I got exposed to good stuff. Look, you're in a brothel. You're there for one reason only. But me, I saw the piano. I was like, how about that? Who needs all these women when I could play the piano and get a whole bunch of women of my own? Then maybe I don't have to pay for it. So we all pay in the end, Bob. Don't kid yourself.
Oh yeah, we do. There's no question. When all's said and done, yeah, it's all a big party.
It's worth it though. It's worth it. It's one of the things. You buy the ticket, you take the ride, but what a ride it is. Oh man.
Oh yeah, certainly. So you were able to create something called Funktry. So that's country meets the funk. How did you discover that?
But I discovered it in the same reason that you discovered what we all know. Outside of the world of country music, that music does not groove your booty. The modern bro country is about as narrow and crispy as a cracker. And my music needed to move the booties. I cannot leave all them booties sitting on the table unmolested, so to speak, musically. So I happen to play the bass guitar. I've been working at it a long time and I've been deep into funk music, playing a clavinet, Fender Rhodes, and all the good vintage keyboards. So I decided that I would take my love of country songwriting and real musicianship and real actual storytelling songs like they used to make. And into it, I would insert a big old fat bass line that just funks it up to high heaven. Woo wee. So when I did that, I was like, oh my God, country, Funktry. How about that? I invented something that I didn't think existed. Now, you could go back to Exile, Kiss You All Over. What was that, 1978? That's about as funky as country ever got. You find me a funkier country song than that. And that's a song that I'm sure helped a lot of babies come along the way. You know what I'm saying? I think.
Yeah.
So my goal is to help people not just get the booties loosened up, but maybe join the loins of many people who might otherwise not feel that spark. I'm the spark lighter right here. I'm also the water tiger, but it's a different story that perhaps psilocybin had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Oh yeah, when you were in California, you took some shrooms and it squeegeed a third eye there.
That is true. I've been listening to some Bill Hicks. You know who Bill Hicks was?
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to some Bill Hicks on the way out to California driving. I had an old van that I had, old Chevy van. I felt like Sammy John, except I didn't have a young runaway girl in my van. Some seasoned ladies, perhaps, but never a young runaway. Anyhow, so I was driving out and I'm listening to Bill Hicks talk about drugs. And I was like, wow, interesting. Conceptualization. So I came out here and I got myself hands on some cannabis, which was fantastic. California is just amazing for that. And I had smoked some before, but never like California. And then I took some mushrooms. Hey man, I'm not gonna lie. If the kids are listening out there, hey, I waited until I was ready, but really you're never ready for when those mushrooms peel your mind, you peel your ego away and leave you just hanging there, your soul naked, bared to the truths of the universe and the truths of yourself. It's a heavy trip, but once you're on the other side of that, man, life is pretty peachy.
Yeah,
That's what my mustache smells like after my trip to Atlanta.
that thing will definitely grow. So everything is being basically all in one with your new single called "It's So Hard."
Yeah.
Inspired by countless panties thrown on stage. So you're like Tom Jones in that sense.
Well, yeah, Tom and I have a little bit in common. I mean, I wiggle my hips and the ladies scream. That's right. And I don't have the Welsh thing down. And Tom looks like he may have thrown down a little more hardcore in some different areas than I may have. But look, that guy's a legend. And the legend of the panty throwing with him, it's like equating the Grateful Dead and Fish, because both have a crowd that follows them around. Totally different bands. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we both get panties thrown at us, but mine may be younger, fresher, and a little tighter.
How's that getting received all around? Everybody, cranking up that song. You're getting good reception wherever you're playing that.
I'm telling you, people aren't ready for it. They're listening at first. They're like, all right, let's see what this guy's about. And by the way, my video is dropping tomorrow. I don't know if this is running today or running at some other time, but tomorrow, in the real time that we're in, my first video is going to drop. I'm so excited for I'm So Hard. And I wrote this song. I've explained this. Look, I don't have an ego about this. My ego got washed out of me a long time ago, grinding it on the circuit. But the way that I feel is I had to acknowledge what's going on with the ladies, and also make a song that maybe if you're a gentleman out there that's feeling like, man, ladies aren't paying me no attention, I don't want to become one of them incels. What can I do? Hey, man, I got a song for you that's going to make you a little hard to resist. That's right.
Whoever would have thought, though, like dope would be everywhere. It's the high quality stuff's everywhere. And then we have these people called incels. It's just
unbelievable.
It boggles the mind. Whoever would have thought this stuff.
Let me just say this, okay? If you're listening out there and you're a self-described incel, women don't owe you. They don't owe you. And what you're not doing is recognizing the bait that needs to be put on the hook. You're dangling a dry hook going, why ain't nobody biting on my hook? Guess what? You need to have the bait. And I'll tell you a secret. Anybody who's out there is an incel because you're afraid of talking to women. Here's the secret. Women like to be listened to. Okay. They like to talk, and they like to know that you don't think they're just a pretty face, that there's a person back there. So what really you got to do, so you don't have to talk a lot, is ask them questions about themselves. It's a very lovely thing to do. How long you been doing that? Oh, that's very interesting. Tell me more. And you sit there, and while you're sitting there, you're smelling her pretty perfume, or you're looking at her lips moving, and you're thinking, man, this girl is beautiful. She's sitting right here. She's talking to me. And all I got to do is sit here and go, uh-huh. And then I got to go, by the way, what else do you do or like? And then just keep letting her talk. And then at the end of the night, she's like, man, this man understands me. He understands who I am. I think I might give me an old mustache ride. We might have to go mustache first, but hey, I already got that under control.
Could be a name of a project, advice to the incels. It could do pretty well there.
I could do that. I'm willing to help anything that's going to keep you guys from blowing your lids, because you're probably so full of your own seed. You're gonna pop like I don't know what, like a volcano. I don't need that to happen. Not in my vicinity. I help you. Just get with the lady. You get one lady to say, finally, a man who understands me. You're like, oh my gosh, finally a lady who will have sex with me. And then you're not an incel anymore. We can move on with our lives and get back to peace and love. Man,
yeah, it's what everybody needs. Maybe we wouldn't have any of these wars, any of these conflicts, if people would just get busy a little bit more.
Well, it's like Jimi Hendrix said, when the love of power is overcome by the power of love, the world will know peace. I may be paraphrasing, but that's the gist.
So I'm So Hard is the single. It's going to be on your. Is it a whole LP that you're coming out with?
The entire long player, sir. Here's the thing. Last year, when I was in lockdown in this cabin, I didn't just write one album. No, I wrote a whole bunch of songs. So this is the first of a lot of music that I'm planning on releasing. But I know everybody gets a little overwhelmed. So it's kind of like, let's say you're somebody with prodigious loins. I don't know anybody like that. You might. But if you're somebody like that, you can't just go slamming it all in. You got to work it in. So consider this the bell end, or the tip of the iceberg, but it's not really an iceberg. It's a hot, juicy train of love coming. Anyhow, so truth or dare, 12 songs, a dozen steaming, a couple funkers, and then there's a couple of ballads. One called Women, Weed, and Rock and Roll. 3 things I love dearly. Another one called Loving Me, about a human sandwich I was with 2 young ladies. Delightful.
Ooh, sandwich.
I
Intriguing.
have to say, yeah, I provided my own condiments, if you know what I mean. Oh, man. Oh, Bob, it was crazy. I have no pictures or video that aren't for sale. Go ahead. Sorry.
Good deal. Well, yeah, I'll put this out when this LP comes out, and we'll try to get people to stream this thing, and we would be able to find it. It's all through your website.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have some comedy records added, some answering machine messages I left for some very unsuspecting people. So you can get those on streaming right now. But I also got on the SoundCloud. That's where right now you can find me. And until then, and then even after streaming everywhere, link up with me on the SoundCloud, the Instagram, and wherever great music is laid down and headed for your booty. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So great music, great comedy. Yeah. On SoundCloud, I came across some of your comedy cuts, left some very interesting messages. You got a few volumes of answering machine messages.
I do. And then, you know what? It's something that's so much fun. And listen, how many phone numbers are there to call? You might get a phone call one day. I don't know, Bob. This is your phone call. Just kidding. But I like to call random business and be like, okay, the name of your business, just hysterical. And just go from there and leave them something funny. Or sometimes somebody I know is working somewhere. I want to embarrass them. My friend Bubba, he really needs embarrassing. Sometimes he's a little bit ignorant. I got to take him down a peg.
Order your holiday meal packs today at Hy-Vee and leave the cooking to us. Order traditional meals, small crowd meals, or a la carte meals. You can even customize your holiday meal by choosing from a variety of meats, sides, pies, and more. There's something for everyone with the Hy-Vee holiday meal packs. Order in-store or online at hi-v.com. Happy holidays from Hy-Vee.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Good stuff. I like Dr. Sphincter's House of High Colonics. That's
yes, sir. Hey, yeah, I only went there once. It was kind of a washout. Oh, man.
Excellent. Yeah, it reminds me when I used to do phony phone calls. We used to be able to do that when we were kids. All we had was the operator to trace you back, not like this high tech stuff these days.
No, nowadays it's very different. But keep in mind, you get old enough, and we're certainly not elderly people by any means, but you start to see the cycles of things. You start to see things change. You start to see the technology you grew up on become the older technology. My Pappy played a 8-track in his Camaro. People now it's a kitschy thing to do, but back then it was like, how else am I going to listen to Humble Pie and the Allman Brothers? My God. Oh
my gosh, that brings me back. My sister had a 1970 Camaro Rally Sport green thing with a rusted bottom. Had a Delco 8-track in that thing.
I think that comes with the Russ complimentary. and maybe a copy of Russ Never Sleeps. Listen to Neil Young and that mother.
Yeah. That thing would be stuck in there. You wouldn't be able to get it out. You hear the same thing. They would split the songs up too on that format. It's like, what the hell's going on there?
Well, you do what you can to get the music you love, and I've always loved music. I still love music. I still listen to old stuff, new stuff. I mix it all up. 1 minute I'm deep in the Allman Brothers going, wow, man, Dickie Betts. And the next minute I'm staring up Baby Spice's skirt going like, man, how short is that thing? She needs 2 hairdos to wear that in that Spice Girls video. I'm all over the place. I learned to be a man by watching a little television at one point at a time when my pappy wasn't around. And it was none other than Jack Tripper on Three's Company that informed me of the way of the world.
Oh, man. Yeah, that guy had a great deal, didn't he?
Yeah, that was my spirit animal for about a year. And it really made me successful with the ladies. So by the time I turned 9, I was like killing it.
That's awesome. Wow. So you have this other great song called Funk You.
Yes, sir.
I like some of these lyrics here. I'm going to funk you, dunk deep in a tub of my love juice.
Yeah.
Feel like dirty even saying that, but yeah, that's funky, very funky.
Well, as you know, I mean, there is, I think, 1 or 2 dirty words in there, but I like the idea of being clever enough to say really dirty things without any profanity. I mean, it takes a different kind of mind, and I like to think I'm that guy.
Yeah. It's like BJ and the bear, but the bear stayed home.
That's right. That's only leaving the BJ, my friend. You know, it's just right there, leaving on your lips. You don't even have to know who Greg Evigan is. Come on.
Yeah, Claude Akins. Oh my, nobody.
Well, you know, using my two dads as well. BJ and the bear, my two dads. It sounds like the kind of show that, you know, I don't know what's going on, Greg Evigan. It's all good with me. Hey, this is Pride Month, man. I'm all for people being who they are, where they are, with what they got. Love
yeah. Yeah, it's really nice in Atlanta. I mean, it's a beautiful part of town too. If you go around Piedmont Park there, it's just where they've had some great concerts there way long ago. The Allman Brothers put on a big show at that park.
I once peed in Piedmont Park. Funny enough.
I have after a race. I would, you know, a lot of my races would end up there. I'm a runner. So.
Well, yeah, I do love the Allman Brothers. That's a very important touchstone in my life.
Yeah, they have a great house there in Macon that I toured. They have like a little museum, little ode to the Allmans. You know, they started out there, and some places, all their haunts and everything. Macon is really kind of a cool little town.
Indeed, I've been there a couple of times. Spent some time there hanging out, because sometimes you get to know a place. You pull in on a show. You get off the bus, you go to the venue, maybe you make it to a restaurant, you do the whole show, you hang out afterwards, you know, do the drugs, eat the food, sleep with your sister, and leave the town. You don't really get to see the sights. So if you stay someplace for a week, I had a week and a half one time. I was living in New Orleans when nothing was going on. Quiet town, everything shuttered up. And I walked those quiet streets just imagining what was behind every shutter. That was way better than seeing anything. I was just full of ideas. Man, that was a good time, eating those beignets and playing that piano. James Booker, Little Roosevelt Sax, the man, the honey dripper, the original honey dripper.
Oh yeah. So Jim Reeves was a big influence.
Absolutely. Well, the voice, listen, he's forgotten. He died early in an accident, but he's very much forgotten in the roots of country. And I think if you listen to his voice, you will hear a style in him that doesn't quite have as many predecessors behind it, but afterwards, a lot of people were into that style. And so, yeah, singing along with his stuff and Marty Robbins and all the good old stuff is how I got into the country. I was like Southern rock and roll, a big Rush fan, and I listened to a lot of different kinds of music. But it turns out with country music coming out, you could definitely go back to Jim Reeves, big time. He big important touchstone as well.
Yeah, big star way back then. When back in the early 60s, he died in a plane crash. A lot of these guys are like Otis Redding. I've been to Otis Redding's ranch, and I met his widow. And it's just so many of these people have died. And then there's Jim Croce. I got to know his son.
Another plane crash as well.
Yeah. In Jim Croce's case, I think AJ told me they just didn't have enough. They forgot to fill the tank up or something as simple as that.
Man, that's why I made it a point that I'm never going on a plane crash. That doesn't sound like my kind of ride.
Not a great career move, I could say that.
No. I'm going to take the bus everywhere. Across the ocean, sure. Make that float. The floating bus. No, it's all good. I fly where I got to go. I go where I got to go when I'm needed. More importantly, where there's a fat wad of cash and a big bag of doobies waiting for me, I'm going to be showing up. You know it.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice in LA. You're able to relax, and then you got the ocean, you got everything out that way.
Everything. Well, I'm big on the boogie board. If you know anything about Beau Nair, that it may be not common for a country outlaw music superstar to actually be a wave rider, because Nashville's landlocked. You ain't got no waves there. Right. Most people stay there. I happen to live in California, right near where there's some beautiful waves. I get out on my boogie. I put on my fins, I drop and do a big fat barrel. Oh my goodness gracious. It's one of the greatest feelings ever. It's like the ocean just swallows you up and spits you out. And then I go back for the re-rinse. Amazing.
Nice. So you get any comments? I mean, hey, here's this guy, this boogie woogie guy just out there. And I have a cousin out there who has been a surfer for years.
It's all about where's your local break. And I tend to travel around a lot, because guess what? You get too hooked to a local, you only see one side of things. It's like a woman. You can't just kiss her on the neck. You might got to get down to the boobies and the butt and the feet. Hey, I'll kiss your toes, lady.
Yeah.
As long as they're clean. I don't like dirty feet. You know?
They don't have that out in California, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, there's some dirty-footed women out here. Don't kid yourself, Bob. Don't think you got the lock on dirty-footed woman in Georgia, but a good dirty woman, I don't mind. I don't mind if it's a good dirty. If it's stinky, like sweaty feet dirty, no thanks. But if you've actually been in the dirt and we're all rolling around in the dirt, all right. I'll get dirty with you.
All up for that. So you're going on any big tour, or how does that going to work for you this year?
Well, here's the deal. We're coming out of this whole pandemic, right? And a lot of my musician friends that I know are in various stages of going on the road and touring and doing shows here and there. I've been working so hard at all the music and the recording and the playing. I play all the instruments on my stuff, so I don't have like a dedicated band. But what I'm hoping is that as this music catches on and more music comes out, people start to kind of get down with my role, that I build a demand. And once I have a demand, well then, I'm going to get me a band to supply the demand. And that's what's when it's going to happen. Because here's the thing, all right? Most people who play in the country music scene, they might sing, they might play an instrument, but they don't necessarily write the songs, sing, play the piano, play the bass, play the guitar, play the drums, write string instrumentations if that's what's needed, play all sorts of other stuff, and also rock on the boogie board. Oh, man. So I feel like I'm put me in the category of the Prince or the Frank Zappa of country music. And then we can put me in my own wing, set me up shop, and let me rock the booty.
There we go. Yeah, the Frank Zappa of the Funktry. And
you read my lyrics, you know what I'm about. It's not the normal thing, is it?
No, not at all.
And you'll see things in there. You'll be like, did he just reference the Lord of the Rings? You're dang tootin', Frodo.
So how do these lyrics come to you? Just a stream of conscious, or whatever's on your mind? You just like run to the recorder and say, I got to get this into a song.
Sure, the unlocking of my mind by cannabis and psilocybin has been a magical experience. And I got to tell you, sometimes the ideas flow forth in a way that I can't even explain. Some people say, oh, it's like an antenna and I'm getting in a signal. No. All of this music came from within. I just had to crack the shell and let it out. A lot of people out there get super tight. They hug their shell real tight. They don't crack it open. That's where I come in. I crack it open. I let them breathe. I let them puppies breathe sometimes too. So, it's important. So yeah, sometimes I get an idea and a song just comes right out. Blah, 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 blah. I just wrote a song last night. It came out. It's not the funkiest tune I ever wrote. There's a couple of heartfelt sentiments in there, but I think in the title of it, Show Me Your Boobs, it really kind of lifts the spirit. It says, show me your boobs. Who doesn't like a song called Show Me Your Boobs? Maybe grandma, but grandma needs to show some boobs. Hey.
Yeah, something from Mardi Gras, definitely.
Hey, you can't leave grandma's skills on the table. Everybody forgets about the elderly, but they've worked a whole life to gain skills, and you're leaving them there sitting around because you're afraid of breaking a hip. Come on, grandma. You ain't going to break a wrist, are you? Rode a boat. Am I saying that? I don't know. It could be the psilocybin. So, Bob.
Yeah. See,
what are your favorite Bobs? Who are your favorite Bobs where you say, okay, these are my favorite Bobs? I'm going to assume Marley might be one.
Marley's up there. Yeah, definitely Bob Dylan. When you're talking music and actor, how about Bob Crane? How about that movie they did about him?
Hey, man. Well, he had a weird kind of private life, didn't he?
Yeah. Wasn't that wild, that Greg Kinnear movie? Wow.
Yeah, I actually did not watch that. I will have to catch up on that. Was it good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's a whole other side to Colonel Hogan that we don't know about. Yeah, crazy stuff.
Well, we all grew up watching them reruns thinking, hey, yeah, just a guy. But he wasn't just a guy. He's doing some crazy stuff. I mean, I read about his story. I just didn't see the reenactment.
Yeah, he had his kinks, that's for sure.
He did. Well, I would say on your list, probably Newhart, maybe Weir.
Good comedy there.
Oh, great comedy. The Button Down Mind. What other Bobs? Come on, give me a couple other Bobs.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. What other Bobs are there?
What about Bob O'Reilly? Oh, hey, the Who.
Bob O'Reilly. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll come up with a couple more Bobs as we go along.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
common name. Yeah. So that's you sing songs that make your mama cry while moistening her granny panties to the max. How did that slogan come up?
Well, in the infamous words of the famous New York City rapper MC Paul Barman, my dandy voice makes the most anti-choice granny's panties moist. So there you go. I don't know what that means, but look, like I said, it's ageism to think that a woman's a cougar, and then after that, she just crawls off and cougars around in the woods. No, you cannot take these older women and leave them be. They need love too, and they feel like no one wants them anymore because they got old. But that ain't what it's all about. Yeah. It's what I call process of elimination. You go into any nursing home, process of elimination. One of these women has the best oral skills. Just process. She may be mediocre at best, but everybody else is worse, right?
Yeah.
I leave all them skills on the table. That's why I go down. I spend some time there. I'm in the back room of one right now. Oh, Shady Acres. You guys.
Shady Acres. Yeah, seriously.
A lot of shady ladies at Shady Acres.
Sweet. Yeah. So a few other pops. You know what? I really like Bob Odenkirk. That just came to mind. He was
terrific.
Yeah.
But Mr. Show, that was the best. Mr. Show.
Yeah. My God, was that great comedic genius. And then these guys really they become great actors. It's just amazing how they're able to do that.
Yeah, David Cross, great comedian, really funny guy.
Yeah, really amazing.
He does really good touching on the taboo. It's very hard nowadays to touch on a taboo subject. He does it. Anthony Jeselnik does it, and I do a little bit too. But you got to do it in the right way, or people get really offended. And that is okay, because when they do, you can play a tiny little violin as their baby tears come down their cheek, and you put a little Band-Aid over their little vagina.
It's true. Gosh, it's so easy to offend these days too. I mean, how are comedians getting attacked on stage?
I think sometimes it's okay to be offended by something and go, oh man, that makes me feel uncomfortable. But then you take those feelings home and deal with them. You don't have to go telling everybody about it. Then you just become a big blabbermouth going blah, 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 blah. And I don't care. I really don't care. Yeah. If I think it's funny, it's funny. But I also recognize we're in the 21st century. So some things that don't fly now used to fly. And some people still try to make them fly. Then they go cancel culture when they're getting shut down for using terrible language or telling insensitive jokes. You just can't do stuff like that anymore. You got to realize it ain't funny. And then somebody goes out there and does it, and it's taboo, but they get away with it. And you're like, how did they do that? It can be done, but it's got to be done right. Ricky Gervais, he's the guy that does it right.
Yeah, how about that special? Wow, that was off the rails there.
Off the rails, but he did it. He touched the third rail. He went all the way unapologetically too. That's the way it's got to be. And people can hate on him. He's like, look, you don't just shut it off and go on and watch something else.
Yeah.
If you're offended by the word vagina, guess what? You're going to hear it a lot in my music. So, okay, don't listen to it. That's okay. But you're going to tell people you shouldn't listen to it because you shouldn't have heard the V word. Hey, you're going to hear the V word and you might even see it a little, because my fans like to climb on stage, get a little part of the show. It's okay. Yeah. Look, I'll take a panty flash. They kind of ruined the panty flash, all these people with these little cameras and stuff. Now girls can't go around in a skirt anymore. It used to be a girl be sitting, she'd uncross her legs, be like, oh my God, I see some panties. Don't look. Oh God, he looked. Oh my God. Nowadays you can't look. You're a pervert, right? They ruined the panty shot. I'm terrible. That was such a nice, like you find one of them out in the wild, it's like a fairy or an elf. Like, oh my goodness, just for a moment, a momentary glimpse, and then it's gone. And then you put it in your file, you go home later, you work it all out.
Oh yeah. You put in the old bank up there. That's true. But everybody's got cameras are everywhere now.
Any ladies listening to this, listen, gentlemen work in a certain way. We got our methods, we got our thoughts, and sometimes we got to keep with our thoughts. You don't have to act on your sick thoughts. You can just keep them to yourself, right?
Yeah, totally. And we're wired that way, and it's very visual.
Yeah, well, men have to think of it. This is part of a biological function, so don't take it personally. I just got to release this over there, and I'll come back and be all right as rain.
Yep, that's so true.
Release the demons. Oh man.
Cool. So the new album is coming out, and we'll let everybody know about that. Truth or Nair.
Yes, sir.
What is do you have a record label?
My own record label, Kung Fu Candy Records, and it's just my own thing. I don't think that I necessarily fit anywhere, so I'm gonna build my own shining tower on the hill to light the way for everybody that needs a laugh and a booty shaking. They're gonna be more ass shaking than a earthquake on a donkey farm.
Excellent. It's kind of like a Dan Ratherism there. I remember him with all those
awesome
things. Yeah,
absolutely. Wow, man, it's a pleasure talking to you. You're a very good conversationalist. I like your questions.
Thank you very much. And hope to see you here in the ATL. definitely.
Yeah, as soon as I make any sort of show happen down there, and I'm certainly hoping to before the fall is even fallen, I will tell you about it. Love to have you out, and we can have a little after party, maybe, see if any other Bobs show up that are cooler than you, which is not going to happen because you're the coolest Bob I know, Bob.
Take care. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.